Thanks for joining the Anthony Atiase Experience. My name is Anthony Atiase. I've got a special guest today. I've known this guest for over 40 years, and I'm excited about the conversation that we're going to have. I'm going to give you a little bit of a bio on her, and then we will start our great discussion. Um, she is the CEO of eWells Realty and Consultancy and co-founder of Garib, the Ghana Association of Real Estate Brokers. She provides advisory services in various real estate aspects, connecting individuals in the diaspora to opportunities in Ghana. She and her company are highly respected in the industry, winning numerous awards, including Most Respected CEO in Real Estate, that was in 2020, and Trusted Real Estate Broker of the Year 2022. In 2023, she was named the African Woman Achiever in Real Estate, and she has appeared on international platforms like BBC World News and TV Africa's The Real Estate Market Show. She's passionate about helping people build wealth through home ownership. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Hanna Atiase. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Anthony. I'm really excited to be here today.
No, that's great. Well, I always have the initial question for my guests, so I'll ask you the same question. I think I know the answer, but I just want to see it from your perspective. What was your upbringing like?
Yeah, my upbringing was great. I have incredible parents. And I think one of the wonderful things that helped shape my adulthood was the fact that I grew up in different countries, from Ethiopia to Kenya to UK and then US and now in Ghana. So I think just having that international cultural experience, has really made my upbringing very colorful.
Oh, that's great. So, when did you get excited or really start thinking about real estate?
You know what triggered this interest in real estate was actually when I first read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And when I started reading the book, I just said, wow, this is very interesting. And I really need to learn more about real estate. So I bought every book possible, Real Estate for Dummies, investing in real estate. I bought a lot of books in real estate. And then I started taking courses. So I made a decision to take real estate courses, business courses. Like for 1 year, I said every week I'm going to find a business seminar, real estate seminar somewhere and learn as much as possible. So that's how the journey in real estate entrepreneurship started. And then I got mentors as well that were able to mentor me, and I followed them around and learned from them. And, so it just went uphill from there.
And how important was having mentors?
Very important. I mean, I encourage it. I have a mentorship program in Ghana where we are mentoring the youth. We have the African Youth in Real Estate Entrepreneurship and Investment Conference, and we selected 10 mentees and placed them in different real estate companies, from real estate construction to the legal aspect to brokerage, commercial, property management, valuation. So I think mentorship is very, very crucial. You're guided by an expert, and it helps you avoid a lot of the pitfalls you would otherwise find yourself in if you didn't have somebody guiding you and essentially holding your hand through this real estate process.
You're obviously very successful in real estate. Did you think that your experience in the US being involved in real estate helped you get to where you are being in Ghana?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it definitely did. And majority of our clients at eWells Realty and Consultancy, our real estate brokerage firm, are from the diaspora. So having that experience in the U.S. market, in bringing some of the similarities into the Ghanaian market, especially in terms of some of the systems that we have. For example, escrow services. We're the only company in Ghana that provides escrow services. We've introduced it into the real estate sector, and that is very similar to the process in the United States. So yes, it's definitely helped, and it's also made our customers feel comfortable because they're familiar with this particular system.
Okay. And going back to my initial question on your upbringing, and you talked about what excited you about real estate. What were some other things that you um, tried out outside of real estate as you were, growing up in your adulthood?
Yeah. So outside of real estate, I tried to venture into the financial market. So I was taking my Series 6 and 63, and I wanted to understand the financial market. And I worked for financial institutions as well. And I took some financial courses as well. But, I soon discovered that, yes, I have a passion for investing, but the investment vehicle that really was for me is the real estate investment vehicle.
Oh, that's great. And as we speak on real estate, when you think about your experience in the US and your experience in Ghana, you did mention that a lot of your clients are from the diaspora. How do you think that you have a bit of an advantage compared to those who may have not experienced real estate outside of Ghana?
Yeah. So, some of the things that you see being implemented in the real estate market in the US, I brought some of those ideas to Ghana and implemented them. For example, in terms of customer service, but particularly customer experience. We want everybody to walk away from our company saying, wow, what an experience. We've brought some of the educational seminars, like the first time home buyers in Ghana seminar, teaching people on the home buying process. First time home buyers get a lot of educational resources here in the United States. So we're also bringing that to Ghana. Having the escrow services, a service that protects both the buyer and the seller and makes people comfortable releasing their funds, which essentially is one of the highest investments anybody will ever make in a lifetime, and you want them to be as comfortable as possible. So definitely there are several things from the US that we've brought into the Ghanaian market that has helped tremendously.
No, that's great. And let's talk more about just how you have built this company. What was your initial vision for your company, and what are some of the goals that you've achieved?
Yeah. So, the initial vision for the company was to change the narrative about real estate agents, real estate brokers in the Ghanaian real estate sector. Because the real estate agency sector is not a regulated sector, there's a lot of unprofessionalism, a lot of fraud in the system. So I wanted to change the narrative. I wanted people to get comfortable using real estate brokers as opposed to using friends, family, relatives, to help with real estate transactions. And then they end up going through, difficulties or facing challenges. So that was one thing. So we started workshops. I do a lot of trainings, master classes, workshops, just to help raise the standards, of practice that you see in the market. So those are some of the things that I wanted to see. And I'm happy to say that I've trained hundreds of people. And sometimes I get calls from individuals saying, hey, I closed a transaction. I was in your training class and, I applied this principle and that sort of thing. So that's very, very rewarding. And I did want to see the company expand and grow, and we're definitely seeing that. And we are seeing, in terms of the numbers, we are seeing exponential growth. So yeah, I'm seeing the vision come to fruition. So that's always a plus.
And how important do you think it is for somebody to have a vision for themselves?
Very important because number one, your vision drives you, and not only drives you, but your vision directs you. If you have a vision, if you know where you're going, then you start to do things that are in relation to your vision, and you make sure that you don't go off track. And I definitely believe that you should have purpose. Yeah, purpose is an original intent. What is the original intent for this business? Why are you doing this business? And if you stay in alignment with your purpose, with your vision, then you're more than likely to see it come to manifestation. So it's very, very essential.
Oh, that's great. When I think about uh, the fact that you initially, when you came to Ghana, what was that experience like when you uh, understood what real estate or how real estate works in Ghana, how transactions are made? I know it was almost night and day with what you experienced in the States. Some people would have been like, this is too daunting, this is too much. I may need to find something else. What was your initial thoughts when you just really understood how real estate works in Ghana?
Well, my initial thoughts was that this real estate market here is chaotic. Okay, it is chaotic.
Mhm.
There's no regulation, there's no structure, no systems in place that actually work. For example, I was used to getting a turnaround time quicker. For example, like title work, you can get it within 72 hours, but in Ghana it would take weeks, months, some people even years. So the system is not digitalized, so it's manual, and so that became very cumbersome. So yeah, I felt it was very chaotic. But one of the things that I always encourage people is that when you're venturing into a new terrain, I wouldn't say just jump right into it, but it should be a gradual progression. And what I did is I worked for a mortgage company first of all for a
Mm.
while, and then I worked for a real estate company, construction realty company, so that I could understand the terrain, so that I could come under the training of a company. I could come under the mentorship of the leadership team, so I could train and I could understand the market before I ventured into Ewell's Realty and Consultancy. So I
Mm.
had a good foundation from the diverse areas of the real estate sector.
And with that, when you talked about a little bit of chaos, you wanted to bring some structure around the chaos. So you were one of the founding members of the Ghana Association of Real Estate Brokers. Tell us how you started that and what it's come to now.
Yeah. So I remember having a conversation with a gentleman, Chris Nee, and he just said, why don't we? Because we had done some business together. He does lands. He focuses on just land acquisition, land sales, etc. And I focus on residential, commercial, properties. And so he said, why don't we do something about this? And I said, absolutely. I think we shouldn't sit around and wait for government or somebody else to try to bring some sort of sanity into this industry. But let's see what we can do. So we started, and then we had other individuals as well, from the legal aspect to the brokerage, construction, etc. And then we formed this, and so the Ghana Association of Real Estate Brokers is an association that has rules and regulations. There's a code of ethic. There's standardized forms that we use. You can't just charge whatever you want for commission. There is a standard fee sheet as well. And so we have a legal entity on board to make sure we're all following the rules of the land and that sort of thing. So we started that, and today we have close to, I believe, 85 real estate agents. And we are the founding members, but we do have a president, a vice president, and a executive management team that oversee the day-to-day operations of the association.
Well, that is huge. I mean, the fact that you came, identified some of the challenges, and you were able to roll your sleeves up and put something together that 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the road, people will look back and just really appreciate the fact that this association was created. One thing you did mention was customer experience. How do you maintain a commitment to excellence and exceptional customer experience?
Yeah, so I conduct trainings with my staff every single week, and one of the things is that you have to start with it's a mental thing. It's all about the mentality. What are we trying to achieve here, and how can we achieve it? And it starts from the mindset. That this is our goal. This is what we're trying to achieve, and then outside of that, we do show them techniques, and we do train them on various things that they can do to ensure that clients are receiving the best kind of service. That's when clients come to the office, all the way to where we take them to the site visit as well, all the way to closing, and then even post closing as well.
Mm,
So we focus on building rapport with the clients and building relationship with the clients. Over 90% of our real estate transactions come from referrals. So that speaks volumes of the kind of service that we provide to our clients.
You talked about building relationships. Um, how important is how important is that to you? And what are some of the things or people that you have forged strong relationships with? What doors have they opened for you? Um, and just touch on the importance of relationships.
It's very important. I'm a strong believer. I'm an avid believer in relationships, partnerships. It's so key because, especially complementary partnerships, because not every business is strong in every area. So where our strengths are, we move in that direction, and then you have your partner where their strengths are, you move in that direction. So partnerships are so key. Relationships are so key. I mean, we have clients that have been with us for years, 6,
Mm,
7 years. And, it ends up becoming a generational commitment. You serve a client, and then later on they refer their child or their niece or nephew or their relative. So now you become a household brand, and that generational commitment continues on. And that's what we're trying to build. We're looking at this as a long-term establishment. And
mhm,
so it's very, very important. And you almost are even kind of making a family here, because we have clients that invite us to their weddings, to their
mhm.
christenings, to their celebrations, to key milestones in their lives. And you end up becoming part of their family. So it's very important.
No, that's great. And why do you think someone should invest in real estate in Ghana?
You know, because Ghana right now is one of the best tourist attraction destinations in Africa.
Mhm.
I'll just give you an example. Just last year, December 2022, just in the 31 days, Ghana had 1.2 million visitors in just 31
Wow.
days. So
Wow.
I'm not even talking about the whole year, right? So that in itself tells you how many people are keen on visiting Ghana. So if you have this number of visitors that are coming into a nation, one of the things they're looking for is accommodation. And according to the Ministry of Tourism report, 41.8% of people prefer to live in a private accommodation. So they prefer a house or a townhouse or a condo or apartment, a villa, that sort of thing. So if you own an investment property that you're using for accommodation for tourists, like Airbnb sort of situation, you are guaranteed that the occupancy rates will be pretty high,
Mm,
simply because of the number of tourist visits and the fact that most of them want to be in these private accommodations. And then Ghana has the highest gross annual rental yields in the entire African continent. And typically the standard is you want to look at a 7% return, annual rental yield. In Ghana, you're looking at 18 to 20%. And even some developments can go up to 33%. So you're looking at these high rental yields in this nation. So investors are looking for monthly cash flow. You've got it. They're looking for capital appreciation because of the development in the area. You are looking at over 55% capital appreciation in some areas. So Ghana is the best place for you to consider for any type of real estate investment venture.
Oh, it's definitely exciting, and Ghana continues to be a place that people seriously consider investing. People seriously consider moving there and retiring. So it is one of those places that I agree with you that it's important to understand what investment in Ghana looks like. So as we wrap it up, what advice or insights can you offer to individuals interested in pursuing a real estate career in Ghana?
Yeah, well, just the fact that you're pursuing a real estate career, number one, invest in yourself. I cannot emphasize that enough. Invest in yourself. So, people don't want to pay to take courses or buy books or take time. Take time like I did. I took a whole year to just invest in myself every week. So buy books. Nowadays, you can go online, you can go on YouTube, you can take online master classes, courses. So the first thing I'll say is invest in yourself. The second thing I'll say is come under some sort of mentorship. Find a mentor, find a real estate expert in the industry, whatever
Mhm.
field it is you want to get into. If it's real estate brokerage, find somebody who's been doing that for at least 5 years, I would say, and then work for a company for a while. A lot of people want to just step out there and start their own businesses. Work for a company for a while, learn the systems and structures and see how that company functions. How is that company doing well? How is that company profitable? Learn some of these policy systems and structures, and then venture out into your own real estate entrepreneurship journey.
Wow. I mean, that's really great information, I think, for people to take in. What would be your kind of like parting words to just the youth in general, where some people may be struggling with finding finding their uh, purpose or passion, so what would be your direction to somebody who's like, yeah, you have your passion, you have your purpose, I just can't seem to figure it out?
Yeah. So, what I would encourage people is to try. When you're in your 20s, it's a good time as a young person to try different things. I didn't really know whether it was in brokerage or valuation or surveying. I mean, real estate is a vast field. There is a lot in the real estate value chain, but it's not until you try it. Try different aspects of real estate that you realize that this is my area, this is my niche, this is what I'm passionate about, this is what excites me, and then you do more research and you always make sure that you're ahead of the curve and always learning new things concerning that particular sector. So I would say, use your 20s as a time to learn as much as possible. Okay. That's one of the things. And then also, I want to encourage just everybody in general that it is about, I think Andrew Carnegie said about 90% of millionaires today started with a real estate portfolio.
Mm.
It's a proven track record in terms of building wealth. So I just want to encourage everybody to begin to climb this property ladder and look at building generational wealth through home ownership. And it's, so important to look at buying a home beyond a home, look at buying a home for profit. And finally, I think everybody should own a piece of their homeland. Very important.
That's great. Well, thanks for joining the Anthony Atiase Experience. It was definitely a great conversation and a lot of great insight. You're very inspirational, and I know a lot of people are excited about the investment and opportunity in Ghana and going to a company that they can trust, like your company. So, thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been on a few interviews, but I'll tell you what, this is one interview I was most excited to be on. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you.